the way out of this, the way through this is just to keep saying yes. Quit asking for the answers and the blueprint and the receipt and how this is all going to work out. You're not going to get that first. It's going to cause frustration and it's going to stall you out. You just internally, it's an internal whisper to the universe, to God, however you experience the universe. Okay, I'll do it. Oh, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm freaking out, but a resounding, hell yeah, we're doing this, right? Get to that point every day. Okay. Whew, right? And then do the thing. If it's art, do art. You don't have to go become an artist. If it's writing, start writing. What is it that you want to do? Because you could do it on a small scale just for yourself, right? So you start with that and then watch how things unfold for you. Watch how the right people show up in your life, the right opportunities. But nothing gets done without you saying yes and stepping out of your old self and your old identity.
Welcome to the 5 Flavors of Happiness, hosted by Susan Pieper.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for tuning into the 5 Flavors of Happiness. Today, folks, this is like Christmas morning for me. I have been waiting for this interview, and I am so excited that she is here. She is, I think, an inspiration. I think this is going to be one of the most amazing shows. We are so lucky that Mariko Frederick is here. She had a life-changing near-death experience. She is a visionary entrepreneur. She's the founder and CEO of Soul Priority, a company dedicated to transforming the way we approach work and business and life, I would say. She's the international best-selling author of Soul Priority, a book that you have to read. You can read it in a few hours and have your highlighter near you when you read it. Because there's parts in here that I was just like, oh, I've got to write this down. I've got to talk to her about this. It is her journey. And this is what made me feel like I already knew you. Guys, we chatted for a few minutes before we started the podcast. And I was like, I already know her. I knew everything about her because it was so personal. The way you wrote it, it was, it's really touching. So I am so grateful. I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for you spending time with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Susan. Oh my gosh, what a warm welcome. And I'm honored you read my book too.
Of course.
Yeah, I did pour my heart out in that book. So thank you for reading it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, guys, this isn't a long podcast, so we don't have her for a lot of time. So we're just going to dive right in. And one of the things that you said in the book, and I'm going to quote you word for word, because you will, guys, you'll end up quoting and highlighting. You said, there isn't a single moment of life that goes unnoticed or doesn't matter. And to me, that was so profound and so significant because I think sometimes we'll do things and we'll say, oh, it's only a little thing that I did. I'm not Elon Musk. I don't have millions of dollars. I'm not changing the world. Maybe I donated a coat. But that matters, you said. Could you talk to us about the little things and the life review? What was that like?
So, it's interesting because we spend so much time, I think, focusing on our first breath when we're born and the last breath when we die. And we don't think about all the breaths in between when we're alive. And every breath we take is like a moment and an opportunity to I guess you could say, live your soul assignment. And the main thing that all of us are here to do, that really the only thing we're here to do, is to remember who you are as the soul. Enlightenment. And I think when we use the word enlightenment, it seems too hard, right? Well, that's for Buddha, that's for Christ, that's for somebody else, right? That's for some major saint, not me. But it's not true because it's our natural state. But we spend so much time thinking about when somebody's born, or the celebration is around birth, or we worry about death, or maybe we celebrate when somebody leaves this world if they're old, and we can celebrate that. So there's so much focus on that first and last breath, but every breath in between is an opportunity for awakening to who you truly are. And so in every moment of your life, you have this opportunity, whether you're doing the dishes or dropping off your kid at school or on stage speaking somewhere, or whatever you're doing. Every moment is this opportunity, this golden, beautiful opportunity to wake up to who you are. And it doesn't take some extraordinary thing. It takes really, I guess you could say it takes dedication. You have to be dedicated, and you have to be willing to say, you know what? I do want to remember who I am as a soul. I do want that. And then it's just the little moments. It's not necessarily about the big experiences we have, right? Or the grandiose gestures. Those are beautiful, and those do not go unnoticed. They don't. But what you don't want to do is live a life where you just have like these highlights, like you don't want this to be like a social media Instagram thing where like it's all just the highlight reel. It's like that's not it. Yes, you definitely, in my life review, they showed me those moments, the highlighted moments of, decision and interaction where I was doing something that truly mattered. And I say that it mattered to me, but not necessarily positive, right? They showed me when I was soul aligned, which matters. They also showed me when I was ego aligned, which mattered to me because then I learned from it. So yes, I think in the life review, we get to see these moments, but every moment counts. We're not here just for a highlight. We're here to wake up and remember who we truly are.
That's beautiful. Now, when you talk about soul alignment, to me, I hear purpose. Is that accurate to think your soul alignment is your purpose?
Well, I think the soul is just the soul. So the soul is love. The soul is joy, bliss, right? So the soul doesn't have an agenda. The soul doesn't have to do anything, but just be and be the grandest expression of who you truly are as the soul. That's what we want to do. Once you realize who you are as the soul, once you start to feel, and it's not that hard, folks. I think everyone believes like, oh gosh, to be soul aligned, that would be so hard. Not really. Go pick up a newborn baby. Go pick up a puppy. Go do something that makes your heart go, do something that makes your heart. There's your soul. There you go. You got it, right? I think that we when we have this overwhelming, just beyond happy, just pure joy, when you have that experience, that's your soul saying, hello, right? Hi. So what if you could be that way all day? Well, you can. And you're going to have crappy moments. You're going to have moments where you're like, I'm not feeling the soul. Can you believe what just happened? Right? But in general, you are that all the time. It's just a matter of remembering it. And I think that when in that self-realization, we start to think about remembering who you are or self-realization and enlightenment, it feels like it's impossible, but it's already your true and natural state. So it's not this impossible gap between soul alignment, which is you aligning and remembering who you are. Now, from that, say you're feeling like, oh, yeah, okay, I feel that love in my heart. This is who I am. This is my truth, not the ego, not the worry, not the stress. This feeling of love, that's me. Okay, what do you want to do with that? Now we get into soul assignment. Now we get into, what do you want to do? What is your purpose? How do you want to express this love to the world? How do you want to be the greatest expression of this vibration of love or joy or bliss or whatever you're feeling? Peace. What sounds like fun to do, right? Because now you can put that into action and create something. But I don't believe that you can fully live a soul purpose if you're not even slightly attuned to your soul. Then you're just doing. Then you're just a human being doing things here. But when you come from love, I would almost venture to say almost anything you're doing in that moment is purpose. Because your biggest purpose, your only purpose, is to be the greatest expression of you as the soul, as love. And then it becomes kind of fun. What I like to help people do is say, okay, great, but what does your soul want to create? And I say that with limiting words because the soul doesn't want anything. The soul doesn't need anything. It doesn't want anything. It doesn't have to do anything. So sometimes I'm limited on like human language. But when we think about like, say you come into this expression of love. Okay, this is who I am. I feel love. Okay. How do I want to express this in the world? What feels like fun? How can I make the world a better place? Now we're starting to talk about purpose. Now that I'm here and I remember who I am, to some degree, you guys, it could be to 2 degrees, it could be to 100%, right? Whatever that degree is, whatever that percentage is, maybe you just wake up 5%, you're like, oh, I think I feel something. Cool. Go do something with that. Don't wait till you're 100% perfect. Don't do that. That's not the journey. The journey isn't about perfection. And sometimes taking that 2% of remembrance and then doing something with it will expand it into 8%. And then you do something with that and that expands it into 16%. So whatever percentage you're at of remembering, having this feeling of like, even if the feeling is full of confusion, which I guarantee you in the beginning it is, you're like, I don't even know what is happening anymore. You're on track. If you start to feel like my world is crumbling, I don't know who I am, I feel like everything I was is gone and I don't know who I'm about to be, you're probably right on track, because that's kind of the crumbling of the ego and the old identity of who you've been. And now you're ready to step into a new version of yourself, a more aligned version of yourself that comes from love. But again, love doesn't need anything. Love doesn't need to do anything. And so you have to sit with this feeling of love, but your ego's like, well, we got to do something with this. What are we going to do next? Do. And the soul is like, I'm just here to be, because as long as I do that, I'm winning. As long as I do that, I have arrived. So it's sort of this dance between listening to the soul come alive, right? Not come alive, but like come online to where you're like, oh, I feel this. And setting aside the old identity of who you used to be and saying, okay, I've outgrown who I was. I don't know who I'm going to become, but my answer is yes. I'll do it. You're signing a contract. You have no idea what's on it. It's scary. It's like every cell in your body is like, don't do that. And yet the old you is no longer available. You can't. It's killing you to go back to your old self. So you're basically, stepping off a cliff with faith that something's there to catch you, saying, I'm going to step into my next level of being aligned with the soul. And I don't know who that is. And I don't know what that's going to mean for my life, my business, my career, my family, anything. I just know that I have to get authentic and be my real self. So that's, I think, in a nutshell, that dance we have between soul alignment and purpose.
Wow. That was inspiring. Let me ask you a question. And it's about when you're misaligned and you might not know it and you're living your life, and it takes a lot of courage to be authentic. It takes tremendous courage to pivot and to say, oh, I'm going down this path and maybe I'm in corporate and I'm doing this and I'm in accounting, but my authentic self is telling me to be an artist. And I'm already providing for my family and I'm going down this road and everyone expects me to continue journeying down that road because they're very proud of me that I'm doing that. And now I'm going to blow it all up. How do we know we're misaligned? Is there any signs? Is there any feeling that we get that we need to change?
Yeah, I think that actually is a big problem right now. It happens to a lot of people. I would say especially, millennials and Gen X, because we were raised to like go to school, do the thing, get a job, right? And so we all got into that. And it's like, where's my happy at the end of that? That was supposed to lead to fulfillment and happiness, and it didn't, and it's not going to. And we're all waking up going, oh, that didn't work, and it's not going to. So what I would say, if you're feeling like, okay, I know I'm meant to do this next thing, then go do it. So because we're such high achievers, both generations can be kind of high achievers. You want to go, okay, then do it. Then make art. Spend 20 minutes a day doing the art. You don't have to make a career out of it tomorrow. You don't have to make a multi-six-figure career out of it by next Tuesday. You need to say yes. And what we do is we don't say yes. We say, give me the success and the answers, and then I'll say yes. Show me that this is going to work out perfectly for me, and then I'll agree to it. Because we want to feel safe. And that's not avoidable, right? Our human mind, our brain is wired to keep us alive. And so whether it's keeping us alive by saying, hey, there's a crocodile over there and you need to run from it, or whatever it is, a tiger, right? Your brain is like, you're running before you even think about it. But also it keeps us safe from making decisions that might make us feel unsafe. So we hesitate when we have this calling come up in us, bubble up, that says, I need to go from corporate to being an artist. And then your mind gets in the way of that beautiful moment, that beautiful realization of your soul saying, let's create some art. And your mind's like, how? Well, but I have bills to pay. Let me create a spreadsheet of all the problems that this is going to create for me. And, you know, your soul is just sitting here like, I don't need any of this. This is just who I am. So you're battling your true self. Your ego is battling your true self. The way out of this, the way through this is just to keep saying yes. Quit asking for the answers and the blueprint and the receipt and how this is all going to work out. You're not going to get that first. It's going to cause frustration and it's going to stall you out. You just internally, it's an internal whisper to the universe, to God, however you experience the universe. Okay, I'll do it. Oh, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm freaking out, but a resounding, hell yeah, we're doing this, right? Get to that point every day. Okay. Whew, right? And then do the thing. If it's art, do art. You don't have to go become an artist. If it's writing, start writing. What is it that you want to do? Because you could do it on a small scale just for yourself, right? So you start with that and then watch how things unfold for you. Watch how the right people show up in your life, the right opportunities. But nothing gets done without you saying yes and stepping out of your old self and your old identity. You can have, and I've seen people do this, just throw tons of money at coaches to like go, okay, fix me. I want to be where you're at. I want to be at this level. So I'm going to pay you and you're going to get me there. But you can't get somebody somewhere internally. They have to do the work. So save your money if you're not there and just quietly say yes. And then watch how things start to unfold. It has to be meaningful, not yes. It can't be like yeah, no, totally. Uh-huh. It's got to be this. I mean, I remember the first time I said yes. I'll never forget. And it was maybe it was 12 years ago, and I was sitting on my couch at home, and I knew that I had to write a book. I knew I had to share my story, which was really terrifying. I didn't want to share my story, the NDE, but also the staying conscious between lifetime. That was a hard no for me. No, I'm not sharing that ever. That's too weird. And I just wanted to be normal. But I remember this moment on the couch, and it happened to be September 11th, but it wasn't the September 11th, but it was 12 years ago. And I just had this surrendering moment of, yes, I'll do it. Okay. And I bawled my eyes out because I meant it. And I didn't know what that was going to mean for my life. And I knew on some level it would mean that I would actually maybe get what I want and that I would actually be more successful than I was at the moment. And it scared the crap out of me because it also meant I had to share with the world who I really am. That I couldn't keep that part of me that I wanted to keep a secret. I couldn't keep it secret anymore. And I would rather keep that secret than have success because of it. That was where I was back then. But then what comes to me is that this story isn't about me. So I had to share it. And when I decided to, I cried. And it took years to publish it after that. And I wrote it within 6 weeks, not that long after that moment. It all poured out of me, except for the 4 soul archetypes, which is a different part of the book. That didn't come until later. And so I wasn't ready to publish until I had that. But yeah, it's just a matter of surrendering.
Oh, I hear you. And I can attest to the synchronicities.
Yeah.
When things start happening in my life and then all of a sudden one thing happens and then another thing's happen. Like even this podcast, people are like, you said yes. Like I was like, wow, she said yes. Like I just read her book because I saw you on another podcast and you were brilliant. And it was Next Level Soul. Brilliant podcast. Love it, folks. Check it out. And I was like, I don't know if I could get someone like her to be on my podcast. And it's just like the synchronicities when you're aligned and you're doing your life's purpose or you're doing something that is purposeful. But I want to talk to you about when you said you sat there and you were writing your book. Spirit guides. Was it your spirit guides that were telling you to write the book? Is it your higher self that was telling you to write the book? Who is it that whispers into our ear to do things?
Yeah, it's a great question because it's both. So in ultimate reality, there is no one else. We're just one. So when we break it down and we start to think, is it my higher self? Is it my spirit guide? Is it my soul? Is it God? However you want to express that, right? Because there is no one else. When you go into oneness consciousness, when you leave this world, or in between lifetimes, I experienced oneness consciousness. And actually when I was 23, I did as well, went into samadhi and experienced oneness consciousness. And you realize the ultimate reality is that there is no one else. So do we have spirit guides? Yes. But that's part of the illusion of duality, because it's us and our guide. Do we have a higher self? Yes, but it's us and our higher self, but that's still part of the duality. So we can experience, you can experience Susan and Susan's higher self and Susan's spirit guide. But when you really completely wake up, you realize there is no one else. So you were experiencing the duality, the layers of duality, in the way that we like to experience it, which is separation and time and space. And then when you really leave this world and you realize there is no time's not linear, so there is not past, present, future, right? It's just all happening at the same time, which I've experienced, and it still blows my mind. Like, I still don't wrap myself around it, even though I've experienced it. I'm like, it's a lot. So I guess it's kind of like, how do you want to experience this human moment, right? Like, I love journaling back and forth to my guides. I get a kick out of it. Do I need to do that? No. Can I just close my eyes and tune in and get the answer? Yeah. But you know what? I like proof. And I need things written down because my memory is not always so good. So I journal questions to my guides, which is just me, which is God, which is oneness consciousness, right? Because there is no one else. So like, we are all one. So however you want to experience that. But I do enjoy experiencing it talking to my guides. And I get the answers immediately. So I'll ask a question, I'll write it down, and then I'll write the answer. The answer will just kind of channel through me. And is it my guides? Is it me? Is it oneness consciousness, infinite reality, God? Yeah, that's all of it. It's just to what degree are you enjoying experiencing it?
That's mind-blowing. That is so interesting. So you have, and guys, you have to check out Mariko's website, because then you could join and you could be on her e-newsletter. And you had a class in parallel lives. Could you talk to that in relationship to what you're saying? Because you also talked about your past life, right? But now it's all happening at the same time. I'm so confused. Help me. Help me.
I know, right? It's so wild. No, believe me, I've experienced it. I still can't wrap my human head around this. There's concepts out there, there's truths out there that we can't actually conceive of. In fact, when I went into experiencing all the realms, the highest realm I felt was where Christ and Buddha were. And all I could tell you is that I couldn't have another thought. Like, I knew that that's where those levels of souls were, and I couldn't think anything else about it. And so I was referring it to as the inconceivable realm. So there's a lot more happening that we can't even conceive of in our human minds. We're just not able to. So as far as time, there is only now, right? And I think we know that. We've all heard of or read, is it Eckhart Tolle's book?
Yeah.
Right? So we understand, oh yeah, that makes sense. There is only now. Well, then you go into experiencing the present moment, and you realize there is only now. But try to get through your day and explain to the phone company that you're not late on your bill because there's only now, right? We can't try to explain to your boss that you're not really late, or that, you're taking a 3-week vacation, but you're not really gone because everything's happening now. I mean, we don't function that way, right? We can't function. So we've created time, and we experience time because we watch trees die, right? And we watch babies grow. And so that must mean there's time. So we experience past, present, future, and that's how we get through this planet. And it's great. It's beautiful. It's a lot of fun. But the reality is that all timelines are happening at once because there is no time. That's not something we can think our way through. I think each one of us at some point just experiences it, either when we leave this world or in a moment of presence, and you experience it. But when we think about parallel lifetimes, it's kind of looking at past and future lifetimes. It's looking at all the lifetimes and what's getting in your way. I know, future lifetimes, right? Because we think of like, oh, well, we already did that, so I can understand the past. But if all timelines are happening now, then the future already happened. And this is how we manifest. Like a timeline where everything you wanted already happened and become that version of yourself now, and watch how everything you want happens right now. That's so
Mind blown.
I know. It's so fun. So I did an Astral Therapy, which is my work in the world. I created my trademarked work is Astral Therapy, where I bring people into the higher realms to experience who they truly are as a soul and clear anything blocking and stopping them. So in this particular one, you're talking about the parallel lifetimes. We went in and we went to the higher realms and cleared any parallel lifetimes that's causing interference in your life right now. And it could be the past, it could be the future.
So when in the book you were talking about when you were a man and you had a daughter and you were talking all about that beautiful moment, do we choose who we come back as? Like, did I choose to be a female?
Yeah.
Did I choose to grow up in New Jersey? Like, were those conscious choices that I had?
Yeah, they are. In fact, I remember the moment with my daughter and my husband. It's interesting too, because when I arrived in the astral after I died in my last life, I was a man, and I very much still felt like a man when I arrived. And I saw my loved ones, including my wife, and she had died before me. And we were young, like I was in my 40s. I mean, I guess hundreds of years ago would have been, well, because my daughter was still pretty young. I wasn't that old. But people didn't live as long. So I was still male. I was a body of light, but I still was male. And before I went into the higher realm, I went into 2 higher realms. So I left this world. I died in my last life. I went into what's called the astral realm, which is a realm of light and emotion, feeling. This is where we use mental telepathy, but it's almost like an energetic telepathy too, through the heart that we communicate. The whole world is made of light and color and beautiful. And then from there, I went into an even higher realm called the Causal Realm, which is a realm of idea and thought, where thoughts are created. And then after that, I went into oneness consciousness, and then I came, and next thing I know, I'm a baby. So that's a very fast version of what happened. So when I first got to the astral, I was in a male feeling looking body. And when I left, I remember planning my lifetime. I remember my husband, because I was going to be female now. Although, I could have had a female with me, because we can be gay, straight, it doesn't matter now. But in the moment, that was my journey. And I had a husband, my soulmate happened to be in a male body. And then there was a little girl, a child. Actually, I shouldn't say a little girl, but there was a little child there as well. And that was going to be my family. And sure enough, that's the 3 of us. And so do I remember the whole conversation? No, because it wasn't talking in human terms. It was this just explosion of love that I experienced and that I remember. Was there more details worked out? I'm sure there were, but that wasn't the important part for me to bring back. And then after that, I still moved on to another incarnation and had a whole lifetime. So I don't remember all the details, but yeah, we do plan our lives. And our children.
It must be odd being in such a beautiful place and then having to come back here. Was
Yeah.
it hard? Because this
Yeah.
is kind of a contentious place, especially right now. Even though I feel like we are spiritually evolving, I mean, we're able to have these kind of conversations, and this is okay and this is open. But then there is so much division in the world. Is there a purpose for this? Are we going to come out on the other side? Are we going through all of this to teach us something?
Yeah, I think people are waking up. And I think some people don't want to wake up. And some people want things to be the same way they were, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. And the fact is we can't go back. And everyone is doing the best that they can do. And I'm going to qualify that, because we can look at some folks and be like, you are not doing that great, right? According to the level of consciousness that they're at, though, they're doing great for who they are. So, in my experience, and I talk about this in my book, I don't go into huge detail, but there's higher realms and lower realms. So the higher realms are the realms like I was just describing, the realms of light, idea, just pure love. And we go there after we leave this world. And you can spend lifetimes up there. And then there are the lower realms, which we can imagine what those are. Earth is like a C average planet in like if you were having A through F grades.
God, I want an A.
I know. That's not the hard part. The interesting part is this is a C average planet energetically, vibrationally. So we attract a lot of average energetic people, consciousness. But then a lot of people from the higher realms have incarnated here to help uplift. But also there are people graduating from the lower realms and they're like, yay, I got a C this time, C minus, woohoo, I'm going into Earth. But we're all one. So if we think of it as one body, as like a person standing there, then the A students are at the level of the eyes, and the D or the C minus students, the lower realm beings, the D and F students are at the level of like the toes or the knees. But we're all one. So we don't need to cut anything off. It's not us against them. It's saying, okay, we are all one. And if you've incarnated here from a higher realm, and this is speaking to you, and you're like, wow, I think I have been on higher realms than Earth, and you're here to uplevel the world, then get to work. Because what happens is when you start to uplevel yourself by saying yes, you start to uplevel your frequency because you're saying yes to your soul. Hint, hint. People say how, and I'm like, I'm telling you how now. It's that easy, folks. I think they think it's going to be hard. What happens is you start to increase your frequency, which increases the whole planet. So even the lower realm beings, everybody moves up. But right now, there's a lot of higher realm beings hiding, wanting to be like, nope, not me. Nope, nope, nope. I don't know what you're talking about. And then the lower realm beings are incarnating here, right? And they're like, I have arrived. I'm a C minus student. This is amazing. I'm living my best life. Let's do some trafficking. Let's create some genocide. I'm having a blast. I'm living my best life according to who you used to be in other realms that are lower. And that kind of thing is normal. Then you have the higher realm beings who are incarnating here and they're hiding. They're pretending that they don't have something special for the planet. They're trying to fit in. They're trying to go do a corporate job so that nobody recognizes who they really are, so that they don't have to recognize who they are. Because you know what, as soon as you do, there's no going back. You just open Pandora's box. You've got all these light codes, these gifts the planet hasn't seen, and you're like, crap, now I've got to do something about it, and I don't know what to do because you're so stuck in doing that you're not being it. So just go be it. Just yes, yes, yes. Okay, yes, I agree. Thank you. Right? It is that. Then you start to watch these lights, I call them light codes. It's like gifts that the world hasn't seen before. Now you start to shine that light to the world. And the universe isn't going to leave you hanging. Like, you will get the support that you need. The right people, the right circumstances will happen. But stop hiding your light. Stop hiding this gift. Stop hiding this truth of, wow, yeah, I am from a higher realm. How do you know you're from a higher realm? You don't fit in here. Small talk is like nails on chalkboard. You don't know what to say. You did a few human things. You went to the parties in high school and college, and then you're like, okay, I did that. What's next? That was fun. Okay, that was not that fun. I did it once, but you guys really do this every weekend? So there's these things where like you don't fit in. You never have. You're not going to. You're not here to. But it is time to get to work.
Wow. Oh my God. I could talk to you all day. I've been tingling. This is just so amazing. But I don't want to hold you up too long. This is a short podcast. Do you have one more minute for the fast round?
Of course.
Okay, awesome. This is when I ask you 5 really quick questions, and then you just give me one-word answers.
Okay.
It's about happiness. I am happiest when...
Oh, you want me to finish that sentence?
Yes.
Oh. And I serve.
Oh, that's beautiful. The best way to find happiness is?
You.
If you could give your 12-year-old self one word of advice, what would you say?
How old are we in 12? Is that 7th grade? What is 12?
So we can say 8, 9.
I'm like, how old? What grade is that? Know these things. I think that's like 7th grade. Let's see. What would I tell
your younger self?
My younger self in general. Oh, yeah. My younger self in general? I would tell her it's true. All of this is true. All the things that she was experiencing, seeing, all the stuff that nobody else was seeing, I would say, yeah, it's true. It's happening.
If happiness actually was a place, where would it be?
In our heart.
Last question. If happiness was a flavor of food, food, what would it taste like?
Oh my gosh.
I've gotten the wildest answers on this one.
I know, I'm trying to think of like I almost just want to say a rainbow.
Oh, I love that. You are the second person who said that. I
Yeah.
love that. It's like taste the rainbow. Unplug Skittles because it's fun.
Well, it's interesting because we only see half the colors on this realm. There's a whole another side of the rainbow on when you leave this world. We only see half the rainbow. There's more.
Really?
Yeah, there's other colors. There's more colors, but I couldn't tell you what they are because if I did, I'd be like, well, it's jiggity boo and la bigalaba, and you're like, what is that? I'm like, well, it's sort of like kalala. Words. I don't have human words to tell
Oh
you.
my god! Because I do art and design. I want to see these colors.
Yeah, we don't see them here. They're not. We don't have the frequency. I remember them from being there, but we don't. We don't see them. We can't make them. I don't have a way to describe them
Can
because
you still see them in your mind's eye?
not as well as I used to, but some I can still feel more. I more feel the frequency, but yeah, I can still kind of feel them and the colors of the not the grass. The grass was emerald green, but the flowers in the astral, they're not. They're not the. We have more colors. Oh, there's these are there too. The colors that are here, they're there too. But no, there's like a whole other half.
Oh my god, something to look forward to, right?
So when I say like the rainbow, I mean like all of the rainbow.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your gift for the world. Thank you for having the courage. And folks, please, 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 please read the description and you'll have a link so you can read Mariko's book and then you can sign up for some of her amazing classes and get her newsletter and learn more about her. Thank you everyone for listening in and thank you Mariko so much for being here today.
Thank you, Susan. This is lovely. Thank you.
Awesome. Bye guys.